Good evening.
Hi.
Hiya.
Hey, all. How are we all feeling?
Good.
All good.
Actually tired this evening,
Yeah.
but good.
Surviving, I think, is the key word right now, universally for everyone. Just getting it through and being all right is better than nothing. So, yeah, I guess I'd say. Just to start off, just introduce me and to anyone watching, just who you are, what you do, all that jazz.
We are a rock band, an alternative rock band called Salvation Jayne. I'm Chess, the singer, and I play synth keyboards. Yeah.
I'm Dan. I play bass and do backing vocals.
I'm Tor and I play drums.
I'm Holly and I play guitar.
You've been about for around 3.5 years now. Was that right?
Yeah.
3.5.
Right about that, yeah.
The past near half has been spent in lockdown, unfortunately.
Yes.
But even though in the 3 years alone, you've garnered a lot of hype. You've had great releases, great gigs. You've had support from a member of The Clash calling you effing brilliant. That's just a gravestone-worthy accomplishment, I feel, alone, to have that. That's all you need, I feel. But how have you been faring without just that busyness and the constant livelihood of gigging, which you're used to right now?
It comes and goes in waves, but like I think for every band, like it's been very weird not gigging or like rehearsing for a gig, and I think all musicians have had to learn how to create videos and record. We're fortunate enough that Dan runs his own studio and can record, but and Baby Studios, but there's a lot of bands that have never recorded themselves before and have had to.
Like I found with the studio, bands have, although they can legally come and record now, they've not been able to finish writing the records that they were due to be recording. Rehearsal studios have started reopening, but for a lot of bands, we're quite fortunate that we've got the studio here, but it's just been a complete standstill for a lot of people. So
we've done online sessions and stuff like that, but now we can get together as a 4-piece. We're sort of concentrating more on.
We're kind of happy. We're back on track. So
I think when I sort of went into this, I thought, I'll be able to write loads for it, but it was really difficult because actually the formula is all 4 of us together writing. It's hard to write something without the other, all 4 of us in the room. It doesn't really work. It's really difficult.
Me and Dan tried writing without Holly and Tor, and it just didn't sound like Salvation Jayne. It sounded like me and Dan.
Yeah.
So it's definitely better to have all our influences together, and it's good to be back writing together.
Well, yeah, a few bands I know have said that they've released stuff sort of over the last few months, and it's not got anywhere near the reaction they thought that it would get. I think people are just sort of distracted or maybe uninspired, or I don't know.
The first couple of weeks, everyone seemed quite like I mean, I think we were all personally like doing videos. I was doing drum videos, and there was a lot of content online for like maybe a month, and then now it's just completely dead. And there is releases coming out, but I don't know. I guess everyone's pushing stuff back. And
I remember that being a big thing at the start, was like, oh, we're going to do this solo house gig every week, every night, be here. And then after a month, just no mention of it ever again. Got a remix EP coming out on the 8th of August. Was that something that was birthed out of lockdown, or was that something that has always been on your mind to do, since it's a bit of a left field turn for you guys in terms of your genre?
I mean, I'm really into like dance and remixes and stuff like that, and I'm on SoundCloud quite regularly, so it was always like, oh, we should definitely one day have a remix. Everyone was like, yeah, that would be so cool. So we all kind of was going to do it one time. So now it did seem sort of like the most sort of perfect time to do it, and obviously we contacted people, and then we did a competition as well, and the winner was amazing. It was just, wow, there's an EP there, you might as well release it pretty soon. Even though the lockdown, obviously we don't really know what the reaction is going to be, but it's nice to have it out, and it's content for us as well. So.
Well, it's nice that now the lockdown has sort of kind of almost ended, that there's something that we can now put out. Now people are getting back to normal. it's nice to have some content that we can. I'm glad we're putting it out now rather than a couple of months ago. We've got something, we've worked on it over the last few months, and we've got something ready to go now.
And it does sound really cool.
Nice.
Oh, so different, the styles.
Yeah,
they're great.
it's so different to what you normally hear, and also like remixes always remind me of the summer. Like you just always hear dance music remixes at parties, and I just thought it just fits in perfectly with this time.
The world is burning, so let's dance.
Yeah.
Do you really mind about the fan reaction as long as like you care about it, you know? Because you know it's not going to be something that they'd usually listen to if they'd come to you for that.
I think it might open a new fan base for us. If the people don't like our fan base, don't like it, there's going to be plenty more to come from us that they will like. But this is a very strange time for everyone, and it's just fitted in perfectly. That's all we've got at the moment.
I think with a remix thing anyway, people are expecting it to be different. Like, you know, if you listen to, I don't know, a Fear Factory remix, it sounds nothing like Fear Factory. It sounds like a dance track with Burton C. Bell's vocals over it or something. So I don't think anyone will be expecting it to sound like anything we've done previously.
It's kind of a dead giveaway when you've got remix. Like to me, it's just nothing like the song. It's just going to be the vocal sample, and that's it. So hopefully,
and we don't want it to sound like the song.
No,
they're reimagined versions, but they work really well. Like the people that have done them have done an amazing job. So hopefully it goes down well, but there'll be more stuff coming out after that that's more Salvation Jayne.
Nice. Very nice. Jayne. And I mean, especially with that, with what you've already amassed in terms of the releases, accomplishments, also just the merch. I love your merch greatly. Well, I think I should add that.
There's more of that coming.
Perfect. Just to that, are you anxious because you've been out of it so long, or are you just ready to go when it comes to gigging again, whenever it's safe? Are you going to be like instantly, let's go, or are you going to wait and let it pass for a bit? How are you feeling about that?
I'm quite a hyperactive, proactive person anyway. I know that I have, with the gig situation, I feel like I've had something on my back this whole time being wound up, and I'm a little bit worried about the first gig because I'm either going to fall flat on my face at some point, or it's going to go really well and I'm going to go for it. But I do worry about my stamina on stage because I run around a lot. Yeah. And in lockdown, like I loved the fudge brownies, fudge on the brownies. But I'm working out. Dan's been working out. Tor and Holly naturally.
Yeah, always every day.
I didn't get these guns from doing nothing.
I think by the time we gig, we're going to have rehearsed loads anyway, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're going to be prepared.
I think it's like riding a bike, really, isn't it? Like, but we don't want to go out there until everything's safe. I think we're happy just to carry on writing. We've got loads of content and stuff to come out, which will see us through till the end of the year. And then it needs to be when the time's right, really. And as Holly said, we're going to rehearse loads by the time we next gig, and it should be a really great atmosphere, the first one back.
And I might be ripped by then.
Yeah.
So the only thing that's ripped is my clothes, where I don't fit in them anymore.
I want to ask you all individually what sort of music's been soundtracking your lockdown, getting you through. So like an artist or an album, like what's been like your bedrock?
So, there's been actually quite a lot that's come out.
It has, yeah.
We've just, I sort of curate our playlist that we've got on Spotify at the moment, which is called like our 2020 Essentials. It's like, so because I follow quite a lot of new music playlists, I'll just chuck anything really cool in there, and it's like this pretty stacked playlist now. But for me, like it's only last week it was released, but there's like this totally nostalgic band called The Midnight, they're called, and if you just listen to it, like the first song's the AOL sign, like login sign, and it's just all that kind of synth wave, like it's just so amazing to listen to when I'm doing art or whatever. And I've not stopped listening to it for, well, whenever it came out, like 3 days ago. So there's been that recently, and that's just immediately sprung into my mind. In fact, your aesthetic in your room with that purple will go perfectly with it. Yeah.
You've actually convinced me to listen to that, because I am a sucker for that, just sort of like sitting in bed pretending that, like, I'm flicking through old Polaroids, crying over my past life, and like wondering what went wrong, or like remembering the good times. So I'm all over that. I'm all about that.
The Midnight.
Nice.
Check it out. First 2 tracks are amazing. So
I'd say because I run quite a lot, I've been listening to Yanoka album and their acoustic EP that they put out quite a lot, and Paramore. But they're all I keep going back to them. I listen to something new and then I keep going back to them. Yanoka has just kept me going with my running, if anything, and the acoustic stuff is amazing.
I think for me, I mean, the mostly what we put on what do you call it? It's the Salvation Jayne's 2020 Essentials is the playlist, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think some of my sort of favourite things off there, you've got like Nova Twins, Lonely the Brave, the Mysterines, the Hannah, Super Love. I think they're...
Bug Eye's new album.
Bug Eye, yeah.
I've been having that playlist on in the background when I'm in the garden. That's been my gardening soundtrack.
I feel really old school now, because like I haven't really listened to. I think the only new record I've listened to is that new Phoebe Bridgers record.
Oh, it's so good.
It's amazing.
So
But I loved the first one.
Yeah.
And so I was really excited about that new one, and it's just as good as the previous record.
Beautiful.
But that's a great record. But I've been listening to this week the self-titled Bouncing Souls record. Like, the Bouncing Souls are just a really good. I mean, that came out in '97, but it's just a great summer kind of sort of bro punk kind of record. Nice. I've been listening to that a lot of The Cure, Killing Joke, like the Smiths. I tend to listen to a lot of like much older bands.
Yeah.
But I think that new Phoebe Bridgers record is the only sort of recent thing I've listened to during lockdown, other than the odd song.
Is it Arlo Parks that you listen to?
Oh yeah, Arlo
Parks.
Black Dog, that was her.
That single out, that was great. But they tend to just be the odd songs really that I've listened to, as opposed to like a whole record.
I listened to it because Hayley Williams was literally just releasing her album bit by bit. So I have religiously listened to. That was at the beginning of lockdown. I didn't really get into it at first, so it was one of those where I had to listen. I love Hayley Williams, so I was like, I must love this. I must get to that point where I love it now. But it was quite a lot to get your head around because it was so different to what she normally does. But it's locked now. It's a go-to album for me.
Right. Any more plugs for you guys want to throw in before I'll kick you out and let you go on about your night?
We are doing a listening party on the 6th of August for this remix EP.
Yeah, we're just going to be sort of talking through the tracks and answering questions and stuff like that. It will probably be it's going to be, I think is it
the night before
hosted online.
Yeah, it's been hosted on, is it Balcony TV?
Joyzine.
Joyzine. That is to be continued and discussed, as it's all still a bit new to us.
It'll be online on a Thursday night. There we go.
Yeah, it'll be online.
Somewhere in the online world, we will be sitting there having a chat.
And the remixes are by Saint Agnes,
nice.
Harts, Skies,
Violet
Vendetta. I can't. Tiva.
And Fuji
Hideout.
But yeah, they're all pretty varied, but we'll be talking through those on the 6th in some format.
Awesome. Fantastic. Right. Good night to you. Thank you very much for coming on, by the way. Tonight.
Yeah,
thank you for having us.
That's all right.
You're welcome.
About it. And until next time, whenever I see you, take care.
And you.